Hey, Wes here. Thanks for joining me today. The job today is to fire this pot. And I've got to admit, I'm pretty attached to it. It took what seemed like forever to get this thing painted. It's pretty involved and it turned out fine. Well, I like it. And what I want is for when I fire it, not only to be fired hard, but for the whites to stay white and the blacks to stay black. And that means that I don't want a bunch of carbon on it or fire clouds. Sometimes that's a nice effect, but not in this situation. So I will show you what I'm going to do and hopefully it turns out. So let's get started here. The question is, how do I get the whites to stay white and the blacks to stay black? What I need for this is to have a good, hot, clean fire. And you can use different kinds of fuel. In this case, I'm going to use lump charcoal. I like it for a couple reasons. One, it is reliably hot and clean, and I know how to use it. It is kind of expensive, that's a downside, but I think I will be able to minimize the number of fire clouds with that. Also, it's cold outside, or kind of cold. It's below freezing, and with charcoal, it ramps up its temperature slowly, so I will less have issues with thermal shock. So I think charcoal is the way I'm going to go today. But now, when you want a nice clean surface, what you need to do is to create a barrier between the fire, the charcoal, and the pot itself. I have two different options that I am thinking of. I have not decided which one I will use. The first one is to use pottery sherds. So just build these sherds around the pot, and then the charcoal goes on the outside. That works pretty well, and it's certainly a more traditional way of doing this kind of firing. The other option is to use a sagger. And what this is, in this case, is an enameled stock pot or canning kettle, and I've drilled a whole bunch of holes in it. It's important, no matter what the system is, to have a lot of good air circulation. I want a good, clean fire. Air is always important for that. If you don't, it's more likely to smolder and build up carbon and so on. So this actually can work pretty well as long as you make sure you have good air circulation. What I will do is put some charcoal on the bottom, and then I have this grate that the pot will sit on, and so I have a little bit of air circulation down below. Want plenty of air, and also that creates plenty of heat. And I have the pot sit on a sherd. Sometimes if it just sits on metal like this, it sticks to it and creates marks. Okay, let's see how this thing fits. It's been in the oven for a little while at 350 degrees, so it's warm. So I think that will work out okay. I think that will work. It's reasonably well covered up. There's plenty of airspace in there. Yeah, let's load this up with some charcoal. Bit of a dirty affair. Yeah, I'm going to get this started from below. I'm not sure it makes a difference. Some people start these fires from the top. But I'll get this going and then add more charcoal and more bricks. So I'm going to build up the bricks. They serve a couple purposes. They contain the charcoal, and they actually I have them kind of open on the bottom, but as the top I close them in, and I get more of a draft this way. It also protects the fire from the wind. Okay, that's good for the bricks. I think that's all we need now. Just load it up with charcoal. The fire has been going for about 40 minutes or so, and so it's going well. And I can see that the pot already is about 800 Celsius, so things are good. It has been going for about 3 hours now, so it's clearly done firing. The temperatures are 400 to 500 Celsius, so in another 3 hours I should be able to take it out. But I don't know if you can see, there's the pot down in there. So far, so good. Well, it's been, what, 6.5 hours or so since I started this thing. And it's still pretty warm, but I don't think I'm at risk of cracking the pots. And I am an impatient person by nature. So let's do the reveal. So again, the point here, we're going to try and fire this. It got plenty hot, that's not a problem. Hopefully I don't have a lot of fire clouds. I'd like the whites to be white and the blacks to be black. I want to mention too that these sherds, especially when it's cold like this, it helps with thermal shock, particularly as it cools. I don't worry about it so much as it heats up because the charcoal heats slowly. But especially on the very top of the pot. The other reason I want to get it out of here, we're going to have a snowstorm tonight. And this is all going to get covered with snow. And so I really want to get it out. It's stuck to the sherds down below. There we go. Okay, I don't know if you can see this very well. It's interesting that the shirt it was on, it kind of stuck to that. The whites are pretty white. I don't see fire clouds on here. This turned out really nice. So it seems like it worked. Happy days. So fire, I saw temperatures in the neighborhood well over 900 degrees, 930. Most of it was 850 to 900. All right, I achieved the goal of having a pretty clean pot, even though it kind of got stuck on the top here. But I am pretty pleased with the outcome here, and I'm very pleased that you show up for these videos. Really appreciate the support. So if you like it, thumbs up are great. Comments are wonderful. Subscriptions are good as well. Thank you so much. This is Wes wishing you health, happiness, peace, and love. Take care. Bye-bye.